Oo nga eh. Good afternoon, Jay.
Okay. We're live, pero hindi kita marinig.
Nako, kanina pa tayo
Okay.
nagkaka-technical difficulties ah.
Okay. Johnny,
Mhm. At nagkakaroon tayo ng problema doon sa setup ni Jay ngayong araw. Ayun. Ayun, may mga pag-uusapan tayo sana ngayon kasama si Jay. Kasi last week, nagkaroon tayo ng onting mga unveiling na ng mga scooter brands. At lalo na ngayon, panahon ng pandemic, usong-uso ngayon ang mga maxi scooters. Isa sa mga brands na sumisikat dito ay yung Kimco. Kimco Philippines nag-unveil last Saturday, ng dalawang maxi scooter nila na entry levels, which is yung Kimco X-Town at saka yung Kimco Downtown. Medyo questionable na move sa Kimco kasi nga naglabas dalawang scooters sa isang category. Yung Kimco kasi number 1 selling na scooter ito sa Europe at makikita natin ito doon sa design na kung saang mga European inspired ang kanilang mga designs. Mga standards, yung mga premium na features na sa mga mas mahal na scooter brands makikita dito. Tulad ng mga stock na LED lights, mga oversized na underseat compartment. Meron din siyang ABS, fully adjustable na suspension. Yung Kimco X-Town magre-retail daw for 229,000. Pero bago siya i-release next year, meron daw siyang introductory price na 10,000 off. At saka ang kagandahan din dito sa mga bagong Kimco scooters ay yung gumagamit siya ng mga mga high-tech features. Built-in na cellphone chargers at saka yung sinasabi nilang Kimco Nudo na kung saan nagko-connect yung motorcycle doon sa cellphone mo. Doon naman sa ibang mga motorsiklo, yung Kimco na X Downtown, which is 50cc larger yung makina. Same category pa rin dito sa X-Town. Tapos, ang sinasabi nga nila, ang pahayag ng Kimco is ipopromote natin yung countryside, di ba? For tourism at saka para ma-boost na rin ang economy ng ating mga probinsya. So, hindi nila goal na makapasok sa mga large expressways kung hindi makaikot tayo sa mga local na mga highways. Ang pinagmamalaki din ito ng mga bagong scooters na ginagamit ng Kimco is yung kanilang performance-oriented na mga engines. So kahit practical ito gamitin sa loob ng city, maganda rin ito i-ride kasi medyo excited dahil sa kanilang magandang tuning ng engine.
right, Jolly. Kaya natin pinag-usapan itong... Okay, good afternoon ulit sa ating mga taga-subaybay dito sa Ride Radio. Pasensya na po at talagang pagka-quarantine edition talaga, work from home, ang daming unexpected technical difficulties. Pero mabalik tayo dyan sa dinidiscuss mo, Jolly, itong R18, BMW R18. Kaya natin pinag-usapan ito kasi nalalapit na, balita namin, malapit na siyang i-introduce sa Philippine market. And of course, antabayanan po natin yan. Marami pong syempre, mga information tayong dapat na malaman, especially marami pa sa atin, sa mga Filipino riders, na hindi pa nakikita to in person. So, maraming in-expect lalo-lalo na kahit ako, Jolly, yung sa Philippine market, no, yung mga motor na R18, wala pa tayong nasisilayan, no? Ni anino nito hindi pa natin nakikita, but based from the information that you shared today, no, mukhang napaka-exciting, no? Nakaka-excite itong motor na ito. And it's a cruiser, tama ba? Yun yung sinasabi mo kanina, no?
Cruiser yan. Cruiser yung R80 natin, Jay. Di ba, Jay, ano? Bago pa to ilabas, if I'm not mistaken, 2 years ago. Or last year, di ba? Nakita mo yung pre-production na model ito nung pumunta ka sa
Pinalad tayo ng nakita, yung ang tawag nila doon, concept R80, no? We were able to attend the 2019 BMW Motorrad Days dito mismo sa Germany, and they had programs, may mga presentation. Nakita natin in person yung concept R18. Concept ang tawag pa lang noon kasi wala pang production bike nung time na yun, wala pang ginagawa. So andun yung display nila yung motor na yung engine niya, yung capabilities ng engine, no? They were able to, ayan yung mismong Motorrad Days, no? Pinakita nila yung finely crafted motorcycle na yan na I'm sure hindi magdadalawang isip at hindi kumbaga, make no mistake about it, ito yung based to dun sa mga olden days na yung mga heritage bikes ng BMW, di ba? Flat twin.
To be specific, binase siya dun sa BMW R5 na nilabas noong 9.
Na hindi natuloy, di ba, Jolly? Tama ba?
Yung BMW R5 naging production, naging prototype lang din. Hindi siya nalabas in production.
Hindi siya nalabas.
Isa siyang parang design exercise na ginawa ng mga designers nila na yung sabi nila Art Deco. Yung
Art Deco. And if I may share, Jolly, yung reaction ng mga, hindi lang riders from the Philippines, no, na nagpunta dyan sa Motorrad Days, kundi yung mga European fans ng BMW, talagang manghang-mangha dito, no, pinagkakaguluhan ito noon dahil bagong-bago nga ito, wala pang nakikita sa mga kalye, no, and we are very excited na kung hindi man weeks, baka days na lang, Jolly, hindi mo alam, i-introduce na ni BMW, no, ng RSA Motors.
RSA Motors, locally.
Yes, locally, itong exciting na motor na ito. So, antabayanan po nila yan. And yun, buti, at least nagkaroon na tayo ng initial details. And Jolly, ikaw BMW fan kayo. Anong reaction mo dito na makakarating na dito sa Philippine soil itong BMW?
Grabe yung generate na buzz nitong motorsiklo na to, both locally at saka internationally. Pero kasi Jay, I have my reservations about yung direction ng BMW. Kasi 'di ba, pag sinabi mong mga BMW, ang nasa utak natin yung mga GS, 'di ba? Hindi cruiser, 'di ba? So parang pumasok ang BMW sa isang segment na hindi nila masyadong forte. Tapos gumagamit sila ng design ng engine kasi itong engine na to, pushrod engine pa siya na huling ginamit ng BMW yung technology na to noong 1970s pa.
Ano ang reason, Jolly? Bakit ganun ang approach ng BMW? Ano kaya ang intention nila? Are they courting dun sa heritage market, dun sa classic bike market? O gusto nilang pasukin talaga yung uncharted territory, na matagal na nilang hindi masyadong pinapakailaman? Kasi nag-focus sila sa adventure, no? Yung mga heritage...
Sakat sila sa paggamit ng technology, Ang mga BMW lagi, 'di ba? Lahat ng bagong technology sa bike. Ito bumalik sila, hindi lang one step back, malaki-laking talon pabalik. Nag-apply sila ng lumang tech, 'di ba?
Which only goes to show, Jolly, na may malaking market, no? Maraming nagre-request sa BMW ng mga ganitong klase ng motorsiklo. Of course, we've seen the R90, no? Maraming homage, no? Maraming mga tribute bikes sila, either dun sa style, sa colorway, di ba? We've seen that being utilized over and over again ng BMW, no, ng premium brand ng BMW motorcycle. So it's exciting to see it. Magkaroon ng opportunity to see it in person, di ba?
Oo. I hope the bike lives up to its hype. Yun yung ano.
Yes. And speaking of course, let's move on.
Ang commuters, oo.
Oo. The more the merrier, di ba? The more the merrier yan. 2+1, di ba? Kailangan at least kung marami, pero hindi natin pwedeng ipagsaalang-alang jolly yung dapat paramihin na lang natin yung mga sasali pero hindi naman safe at hindi naman sila mahigpit sa mga safety protocols. Hindi talaga dapat payagan. So ito, nakatutok naman yung ating DWG.
Ganda ng footage yun, Jay, yung sa movie to. Doon sila sa Honda Safety Driving Center. Tinitrain ng mga riders. Oo.
Yung mga pilot. Pero ito namang angkas, jolly, and joyride. May kanya-kanya naman silang
May sarili silang training center.
Meron silang training center. Kanya-kanya sila training program. So, hindi rin natin pwedeng, parang maliitin yung pagsiscreen itong technical working group. Mahigpit na mahigpit sila, nakikita po natin. And kahit, kumbaga, malakas na yung pressure sa kanila na napapasukin na mag-pilot testing na, simulan na yan, no? Yung mga motor taxis, pero hindi sila kara-karaka nag-aalaw, di ba?
Di ba nga, Jay, tayo, mga kaibigan tayo, di ba? Sumali dyan sa angkas, nag-training sa angkas.
Oo. China-challenge ka tayo nung angkas, no? Anong challenge? Kailangan, sumailalim kayo kung gusto niyo talagang makita kung mahigpit kami o hindi, di ba? So they have stringent mga training drills na hindi rin din ganun kadali, di ba, Jolly?
Yeah.
Okay. Ito naman, Jolly, nililiw DOTR na hindi required ang motor taxi riders na gumamit ng thermal scanner para sa mga pasahero. Ito yung nire-request natin kasi inisip natin may baon silang thermal scanner, no, sa kanilang mga motor. Pero hindi pala sila required, no? Ayon sa DOTR o ayon kay DOTR Assistant Secretary Steve Pastor, hindi ito kabilang sa guidelines na inilabas ng Technical Working Group. Sinigundahan naman ito ni COVID Task Force Deputy Chief Implementer Vince Dizon. Ayon sa opisyal, motor taxi riders at hindi mga pasahero ang kailangan dumaan sa temperature checks sa ilalim ng inilabas ng NTF Memorandum Circular. Nilinaw naman ni Dizon na pagsusulatin pa rin ng health declaration forms ang mga pasahero. So mga kababayan, ito, ulitin natin, hindi pala required ang mga motor taxi riders na gumamit ng thermal scanner para sa mga pasahero. Kung in-expect po nyo na meron kayong may device na itututok sa inyo para malaman ang inyong mga temperature, hindi po naman daw yan kailangan na ayon din sa kumbaga circular ng DWG. Hindi pala kasama yan, Jolly, no? Okay, ito Jolly. Itong next item natin, Jolly, medyo, kumbaga, matagal ko na rin nakilala at nakita ito in person, no? Yung si Bogie, yung aso, no? Saka yung kanyang trainer, di ba? Ito, usap-usapan sa internet, ang isang dog rider sa Cavite. Ayan, ang cute-cute niya, nakaangkas sa kanyang boss, no? Sa kanyang trainer, no? Ito si Bogie yan, binahagi ng owner na si Gilbert de los Reyes ang video na ito kung saan feel ng alaga niyang si Bogie ang pag-angkas sa kanyang motor. Nakasuot pa ito ng helmet shades at customized.
Naka-jacket pa.
Oo, safety muna, safety first, di ba? Nakasuot yan ng helmet, shades at customized motorcycle jacket pag nagra-ride. No? Ayon kay Gilbert Jolly, marami na siyang napuntahan kasama ang kanyang best friend. Nakapag-ride na ang dalawa sa ilang tourist destinations sa Luzon, pati na rin sa Boracay. Ako, sarap naman ni Bogie. Sabi pa ni Gilbert, para na rin daw niyang anak si Bogie, lalo na't sinasamahan siya nitong magbantay ng kanyang motorcycle shop sa Cavite. O Jolly, yan si Bogie talagang talagang pinagkakaguluhan lagi yan, no, sa sa social media, and yun nung dati nating show, yung Motorcycle Diaries, nagkaroon tayo ng chance to interview yung si Sir Gilbert at itong si Bogie, in-interview din natin siya, no? So ang sagot niya raw raw. wala hindi ko maintindihan, pero raw daw, raw. Pero ayan, napaka-close ng dalawang yan. And may mga tricks din na alam yun si Bogie. Itong si Gilbert, talagang parang anak na tao. Talaga ang turing niya siya. Mahal na mahal niya si Bogie. Ikaw ba mahilig sa aso? Balita ko, mahilig ka sa aso at pusa.
Oo, meron ako pareho. Pangarap ko lang maturuan sila umangkas din sa akin.
Okay. And maganda rin yan na mahilig ka sa pets, no? Mahilig ka sa aso. And mas mainam kung maisasama mo pa siya sa iyong mga riding destinations, no? Mukhang mototourism din ang punto nitong si Bogie Rider, no? Tsaka ni Sir Gilbert. Okay, magagap muna tayo. Huwag po kayong aalis. Marami pa tayong pag-uusapan dito sa Ride Radio. Pagbalik po namin. Okay, nagbabalik po ang programang Ride Radio. Kasama pa rin natin si Engineer Jolly Alarcon. Jolly, bago tayo tumulak sa ating na programa, baka pwede muna nating batiin ang ating mga taga-subaybay. Okay, sabi ni Avelino Michael Josephine, be safe po. Okay, sabi ni Rose Corameng, keep safe. Daryl Kevin Sanchez, hello sir. And Engineer Jolly, kamusta ka Daryl? And sino pa ba yung ating babatiin? Oh, Roxanne, nanonood din si Roxanne Moro, no? Cabo Verde Moro, kamusta ka? Magandang hapon. Lalaine Rebuta, hi Lalaine. Sir Alex Fuentes, good afternoon po sa Ride Radio, kay Pops Jay Taruc at Engineer Jolly. Happy weekend po sa inyo dalawa. Be safe, watching here in the city of Smile mula sa Bacolod. Okay, mamaya babatiin ulit natin yung iba nating taga-subaybay. Pero it's move on no, sa ating sa issue na pag-usapan natin ngayon. Remember, Jolly, problema natin ngayon, panahon ito ng pandemya, di ba? Maraming mga kababayan ngayon na dumidiskarte, no? Merong nagbabiyahe ng tricycle before, tapos nawalan pansamantala ng hanap buhay. Andyan yung mga gumagamit ng motorsiklo para dumiskarte ng halimbawa, mag-grab food ka, di ba? O di kaya kung ano-anong logistics na pwedeng pasukin. So, talakayin natin yung ibang mga paraan, no? Kung saan pwede nating pagkakitaan yung mga motorsiklo din na ibang klase ng motorsiklo na pwede nating gamitin, no? So ito, usapang three-wheelers ito, Jolly. If you're familiar with the Bajaj RE tri-wheeler, no? Nakikita natin to, marami ito sa iba't ibang bahagi ng Metro Manila. At dito sa Tagaytay, doon ko unang nakita yan na napakarami ko sila. Nabas ng memo, Jolly, ang Land Transportation Office o LTO tungkol sa tamang classification ng three-wheel vehicles. Pero ano nga ba ang pinagkaiba nito sa mga tricycle? Para malinawan yan, Jolly, at ma-explain, makakasama natin sa show si Raul Manglapus III, o Sir Sige ang tawag namin dyan, Executive Vice President at COO ng TriMotors Technology Corporation. Good afternoon, Sir Sige.
Good afternoon, Jay. Thank you for having me. Good to see you again, Engineer Jolly. Thank you for having me.
Okay, it's nice to have you on the show, sir. Pero alam mo, Sir Sige, marami nalilito, no? Of course, itong pinalabas na statement ng LTO na isang memo ito, no? Na kina-classify kung ano yung three-wheeled vehicles.
It's basically as upgrade to the three-wheeler. I think we thought it was time to move up for the traditional tricycle drivers to have a better vehicle. We simply started with that premise: let's offer a better vehicle that's safer, that's easier to drive. All of these things that you don't have with a traditional tricycle, we wanted to offer that. So it's really trying to get something that's better out there. And I think we were in India just about a year ago, similar to these vehicles you're showing now, and you saw that the three-wheeler is really the last mile of transportation. It's really a three-wheeler, and there's no doing away with that.
Sir Sige, we were able, no? Right PH was able to visit India, no? The three Bajaj plants in India, and we saw, no, how it was assembled. In the Philippines, ano magiging advantage kung ganito ang gagawin natin instead of using the traditional tricycle? Meron bang advantage ito dun sa traditional? If we were, ang vision natin is to change, no, to upgrade our current tricycle fleets, no? Ano ba ang advantage pag ito yung gagawin? Aside from the obvious capacity, no? Mas malaki ang capacity nito dun sa traditional tricycle. So ano ba yung advantage nito?
Sure. Of course, Jay. What we found, of course, when we started, it wasn't quickly because it's a new vehicle. The tricycle is very entrenched in the fabric of society, really. But what we wanted to do is we studied our early adopters, what brought them to purchase, why did they continue purchase, and it was mainly that what we found nationwide is they're able to have more income, which I think is the most important part of all of this to upgrade. They have more income, they can drive longer hours, they're not exposed to the elements. As you can see, you have a windshield, you have a differential. You're not fighting against the way you're fighting with a tricycle to keep it on the road. And the comfort of the passenger is what really drove the continued change. If you put this in a Toda line, a regular tricycle versus a three-wheeler, of course, the customer would rather be covered. He'd rather be protected. He'd rather be more comfortable. And that's what really drove it. But I think the most important thing is what we've studied is that the driver earns more. And that was very important for us because affordability, of course, is the biggest concern with a bigger, stronger, a little bit more expensive vehicle than a traditional tricycle.
Correct. And how does the latest LTO memo affect the operation of the tri-wheelers? I mean, through the years, we've been covering, how the tri-wheelers are incorporated in our current transportation, roster of transportation. So how does this latest LTO memo affect the operation of our tri-wheelers?
Yeah. So this memo is something we're very happy about. Something we spent many years lobbying for, and what we really wanted to do, because in the LTO system, there's no three-wheeler. You have a motorcycle, tricycle, or a non-conventional motorcycle, and really this paves the way to having a three-wheeler classification. We've sold over 50,000 units in the road. So we thought we really felt it's about time we have a proper classification. And one of the main things that advantages of this memo is we actually had an inspection. We really wanted to prove the roadworthiness of this vehicle, that this vehicle, we know in many of the provinces, there's no other way than to take a secondary national road to get from one place to another. So what we really wanted to prove to the LTO was that this is a safe vehicle. It should be allowed to traverse and really go on the roads, because of course we're paying the same user tax. We're paying all of the things we're paying for. The private owners should be allowed. Of course, Todas will still be restricted to where they operate, but private owners, business owners should be allowed to travel freely. And I think this really paves the way for that.
Right now, the tri-wheelers are allowed to ply the secondary roads. Is that correct? Hindi bawal pa sa major highways, no? Bawal pa sa...
Definitely some major highways. We're still less than 400 cc. But what was good about this memo?
Roads, bawal pa kayo mag-apply na. Dun kayo sa secondary roads talaga.
Yes, correct. But what it says in the memo is just stick to the right. I think that's a very good ruling. It's just stick to the right-hand side of the road for safety. And then if there's no other way to pass, we should be allowed to pass.
Okay. What about EDSA, Sir C? For example, gagamitin ko yung tri-wheeler ko as utility vehicle, no? Gusto ko lang siyang gamitin na panghatid ng mga tubig or gagamitin ko lang sa aking negosyo na hardware. Ang EDSA, we can use it on EDSA or hindi?
Right now, we're not using it on EDSA. And we'll deal with that animal separately. I think that whole traffic problem we'll stay away from that one for the time being. But crossing EDSA is fine, and any secondary national road is okay.
Okay. So right now there are 50,000 units of tri-wheelers all over the country, diba? Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So are you expecting it to be a more viable option for a lot of Filipinos in the coming year, in next year? Kasi you guys introduced 3 new models, no? A couple of weeks ago, Sir Siggy, tama ba?
Yeah, that's correct, Jay. We had a lot of discussion about what to do in a pandemic. Of course, we're not different from any company out there who's struggled with the pandemic. We know, jobs are going away, businesses are closing. But when we started thinking about how we know that these vehicles, the new vehicles, we saw them last year in India. You were there, of course. And we really were excited to have them in the Philippines. And I think one thing that really drove us and gave us confidence is Discarte. I think you can see the campaign is called Madiscarting Entrepreneur. So I think Filipinos are famous for Discarte. But we had this conversation with our partners in India, and they asked us, what is discarte? Of course. So, you never think about it, but I was trying to think of a English translation, and I couldn't really couldn't pin it down. So what we thought, it's more of it's like a mix between ingenuity and resilience, kumbaga street smarts of the Filipino. And what we saw in the pandemic, of course, when it first started, everything was shut. Lots of jobs were lost. It was really a tough situation, and it still is a tough situation. But what we found with the Filipinos discarte, they found a way to survive, whether it's going from tricycle driving to delivering packages. There's opportunities there that come up because the ingenuity of the Filipinos. So that's what gave us confidence to still launch 3 new models in the face of a pandemic. And we think it's even more applicable now because people are looking for a tool to help them become more, to do more. And that's really what we wanted to offer.
Jolly, baka may questions ka for Sir Siggy?
So sige, parang parang never ending naging problem na yan, yung pag-define nung LTO sa mga 3-wheeler and doon sa tricycle. I think it's going to stem kasi sa ibang bansa kasi, as far as I know, ang tricycle talaga is yung talagang purpose-made talaga na 3-wheeler like yung RE. Whereas yung sa atin, yung motorcycle with sidecar, yun yung naging colloquial term natin, naging tricycle. So sa tingin ko doon nagkakaroon ng problema yung pag-classify. So sa tingin mo parang in the future magkakaroon ba tayo ng definition sa LTO na magkakaroon ng hiwalay na classification ang 3-wheeler sa tricycle? Or mas maganda bang babaguhin nila yung terminology nila na magiging motorcycle with sidecar then tricycle na yung mga 3-wheeler?
Our hope is that there is a classification for 3-wheeler. And as I said, the memo paves the way for that. I think I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I think soon we'll have that classification that we've really been wanting since the very beginning. And I think it'll be a huge development for our users, for our riders. It's a good thing for us. I don't think traditional tricycles are not going to go away. They'll still be part of us, but I think it's time for us to upgrade.
Yes, to a safer option, probably to a more comfortable ride, no? Sa panig ng mga pasahero ng mga tri-wheeler. Siyempre dun tayo sa better option, di ba? And of course, more opportunities for our fellow Filipinos to earn. Yun ang napakahalaga ngayon kasi pandemic. Lahat tayo, yung iba nga, nawalan ng trabaho, di ba? Yung iba, looking for more opportunities, no, to earn more dahil yun nga, napakahirap kumita ng pera sa mga panahon yan. But very timely itong madiscarding Pinoy programs or sige, no? And of course, you're offering alternative choices, no? Pwede mo ang tri-wheeler, pwede mong gawing negosyo din kasi gamitin. Hindi lamang for transportation, but yan, sa maliliit na negosyo. So, good luck sa inyong programa, sa inyong TriMotors Corporation na may mga nilaunch pa kayo na bagong modelo. I hope na mag-prosper pa ito and makinabang ang maraming Filipinos, Sir Siggy. So siguro final word na lang coming from you. Baka may gusto kang message or you want to say something to our public?
Okay, thanks Jay. Yes, as Jay mentioned, we did launch 3 new models. Many of you may be familiar with the RE, but now we have the RE Special Edition, which what we found was the best upgrade, the most wanted upgrade is to have a hard top, a resin top, doors for a little bit more safety. And then we have the 2 new Maxima models, which as we positioned it, as we mentioned, it's really a chance for our entrepreneurs out there to show their discarte, to use it to earn more, to find a different way. We know OFWs are coming home, jobs are closing, but that also creates opportunities for us. When we created the campaign, we really thought, okay, an OFW comes home, maybe he wants to find somewhere where he can earn. And we really want to give the tools to do that. So we thank you for your support through all these years. I think with Ride PH, been many years we've had a relationship talking about these three-wheelers, but I think we're now at the point where we're going to be recognized as a three-wheeler soon, and that really makes a good upgrade path for the whole Philippines. So we look forward to that, Jay and John.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Sir Raul Manglapus III, Executive Vice President at COO ng TriMotors Technology Corporation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right. Ayun, Jolly, isa na namang option ito para sa ating mga kababayan, no? Hindi lang tayo nakatali sa tricycle or kung anumang mga logistics, no? May option din po tayo na mag-invest sa ganitong klase ng motorsiklo. And yung sabi nga nila, sabi ng iba, three-wheelers, di ba? Na pwede nating gawing maliit na negosyo o pwede nating pagkakitaan yan. Naku, i-take advantage po natin yan, mga kaibigan. So, magbabalik pa po ang Ride Radio. Huwag po kayong aalis. Babalik po ang Ride Radio. Maagang pamasko ang hatid ng isang mekaniko sa mga binahang riders sa Marikina. Yan ang tinutukan ni RPG member Toto Pagulyon. Ang video, okay.
Mga Pops, problema ng ating mga kapwa riders ngayon ay itong lalo na sa lugar ng Marikina at San Mateo, sa Rizal, at maging sa ilang areas dito sa Metro Manila, nalubog sa ba ang kanilang mga motorsiklo. So, yun, hindi naman nila sigurado kung ano ang tamang gagawin, lalo na yung DIY na tinatawag natin. Dahil mga modernong motorsiklo na itong karamihan sa atin ngayon, at computer box na nga, so kailangan nila ng expert sa mga ganitong uri ng motorsiklo. Bakit niyo po naisipan na maglingkod or magserbisyo sa mga kapwa riders natin na nasalanta ng bagyo at baha ng libre?
Wala ako sir, ilang was kaya yung pag natin lalaman lang tayong kalibera, kaya yun na lang ang ginawa ko para lang mga kapag-rider. Lahat ko lang na pa motor sa Marikina, di tulong sa paggawa ko ng motor.
Nakakatuwa naman. Meron pa talagang mga ganitong mga kapwa rider natin at kapwa, hindi naman tayo mekaniko, pero yung kanyang skill sa pagkukumpuni ng mga motorsiklo ay dito niya idinaan ang pag-alay or handog ng serbisyo sa kapwa nitong nagdaang kalamidad o baha dito sa Marikina.
Para naman po sa mga kapwa ko po mekaniko, baka po pwedeng tulungan natin mga kapwa ating riders na gawan sila ng motor na libre para naman hindi sila gumastos. Kasi pandemya po ngayon, kailangan natin magtulungan para lahat po tayo makakahon na maayos.
RPG Toto Padulyon para sa Ride Radio.
Jolly, nakakatuwa naman yung ginawa ni Kuya. Ano bang name ni Kuya, Jolly? Itong yung mekaniko, no? Na nag-offer ng kanyang serbisyo ng libre sa mga binahang kapwa natin na rider. Naku, saludo po kami sir sa inyo at matinding sakripisyo po yan. Yan ang spirit ng bayanihan, di ba, Jolly?
Ayun, oo.
Oo,
Ano
bayanihan
panahon,
yan.
Jay?
Ito yung panahon na
Pag walang
ipakita
motorsiklo. Yun, oo, tama.
na may pakialam ka sa iyong kapwa at makakatulong ka dun sa mga nabahang motor, no? So yan ang
Kuya
patunay.
Ferdy. Si Ferdy.
Si Kuya Ferdy.
Genyo. Oo,
Oo.
yung mekaniko.
Oo. So Jolly, yan nga yung patunay na tuloy pa rin ang Pasko ngayong taon. Para sa mga gustong magpaabot ng tulong, mga Paps, makiisa sa aming Tuloy ang Pasko Movement.
Tayo'y maging liwanag ng Pasko. Tulong-tulong tayo. Tayo'y liwanag, ikaw at ako. Tuloy pa rin ang Pasko. Sarili alagaan.
Okay, mga Paps, nakita niyo yung mga detalye, ha? Wala po kayong gagawin. Kung screen grab lamang yan, para hindi niyo makakalimutan kung paano tayo makakatulong. Pag-ugnayan po kayo sa aming Tuloy pa rin ang Pasko Movement. At magkita-kita tayo muli rito sa Ride Radio sa susunod na Sabado. Ako sana, Jolly, magbalik na tayo sa studio dahil namimiss ko na yung studio. At least hindi na malakas na signal o mahina signal, di ba? So tuloy-tuloy tayo. Wala na mga bugs itong natin, work from home. Okay, 20 days na naman po. Pasko na, mga Paps. Wala ba tayong graphics dito? Winona? Shy, wala. Okay. 20 days na naman po. Pasko na, mga Paps. Ako po si Jay Taruc.
At ako naman si Jolly Alarcon para sa 1PH.
Okay. Okay. Kami ang boses ng pinagkakaisang Pilipinas. Merry Christmas po at kita-kita tayo next week.